Our famous mile is up next at the championships. The Group 1, Star Doncaster.
You should quit like a winner, cut your losses and extricate yourself from the bidding, and tell your friends that you could if you wanted to, and tell yourself that it's strong.
20 to line up here in the Star Doncaster Mile. Let's go straight up to Darren before he learns the colours.
Thanks, Greg. Well, I think Glenn Boss can get across from this wide draw on the colt Brutal, and I think he'll get a pretty good run throughout the race. I've got Brutal just on top of the 8-year-old Hartnell. Boy, he's going to go close today, Hartnell. Elise bound to be hitting the line hard at the end, and Fundamentalist, the filly, bound to give a good sight on the speed, but it's Brutal for me.
Straight into the Star Doncaster Mile for the mounting yard, brought to you by Harvey Norman. Shop with confidence. If you need advice, they're there to help. Here is Hartnell, Hugh Bowman, James Cummings.
Well, what do you want to say about him? He's an iron horse, 13 wins, 6.3 million in the bank. He's won a Chelmsford and Epsom at this track and distance, and his class will take him a long, long way here.
Looks absolutely magnificent, Ronnie. He hasn't put a foot wrong in all the times that we've seen him this preparation, and he just looks exceptionally healthy, and this is well within his reach to win.
Number 2 is La Romaine, James McDonald, Chris Lees.
Well, he finished alongside Hartnell at Flemington last start. He likes it soft. Just needs a few things to go right from the draw.
He's always turned out nicely. It doesn't matter what distance range he's running over. He always looks at the peak of his condition.
Elise, number 3, Blake Shin, James Cummings.
Well, an explosive mare. She uses quality, has the class and the acceleration. Just does she have the toughness at this tough mile here? Yeah,
that's the only question mark, whether the mile and whether the ground is going to be in her favour, but there's no denying she's turned out perfectly.
Land of Plenty, number 4, Michael Rod for the Snowdens.
Yeah, he has the ability, but a question mark on how he's going this so far in these past few runs. He's a real thinking stallion now.
He doesn't look as though he's taken a step backwards from the last time we saw him. He looks as healthy as he could possibly be. If you like him on his recent form, or you like him in this race, I definitely give him the tick in the yard.
Okay, Dreamforce, Damien Lane, John Thompson.
Yeah, I love the way he's been working up to this race. Back to handicap conditions ideal here. Great racing style right in the mix.
Yeah, he's a complete natural, isn't he? And he's just been progressing the right way through this preparation. He's at the peak of his fitness now.
Dixie Blossoms, number 6, Christian Reith for Ronnie Quinton.
Yeah, grand mare off a personal best in the Coolmore. Likes the track and distance. Won't mind that this track stayed in the real soft range here, and just needs a ride like last time.
Yeah, talk about peaking at the right time. Ronnie Quinton has got this mare in absolutely fantastic shape. I was having a look at her walking around the yard before, and I thought that there would be improvement in her from her last start, and she's definitely gained that.
Shillelagh, number 7, Craig Williams, Chris Waller.
Very well weighted here, ideally suited back to the mile, gets good cover from the draw, set to ambush late, but I would have preferred the track a couple of notches drier for her.
Absolutely, that's the key with her. It doesn't matter what she looks like, she just really doesn't like this type of surface. She's turned out to the best of her condition like she was last start, and she's just not cracking a good track.
Here's the Japanese galloper, Kluger, walking around the centre of the ring, all taped up. Tommy Berry and Tomokazu Takano, the trainer.
Yeah, look, I don't know what to think of him. He's a Japanese visitor, hard to line up. All I do know, I pulled out his soft run and had a look at it, and it was an absolute ripper. His only soft run is great, which gives him some hope.
He's a lovely looking type. He's a quality individual. He's a bit anxious, which you would imagine. This is the first time he's been in this type of environment, and he wears those earmuffs pre-race to keep him settled. But he does look like a quality individual. He has been out of form for some time, but he's turning up in the best possible shape he could be.
9 is Widgie Turf. Billy Egan rides. The trainer is Patrick Payne, who won this as a jockey back in 1992 as a 16-year-old.
Yeah, he's a terrific little horse as well. He won't know himself with the weight. Soft suits him. He never runs bad. I can't say no.
Yeah, he never runs bad. He's so consistent, and that's exactly how he presents. He just seems to turn up every time I see him in Sydney, which isn't very often, in really good nick, and he's no different today.
Here is Unforgotten, number 10, Kara McAvoy, Chris Waller.
Lovely mare, sets up well off a Wait for Age program leading into this race. Won the Chelmsford, placed in the Epsom last prep. at this track and distance. Just I'm a little bit flattened by the I was hoping for a better track for her. I still think she's in the mix.
Yes, I think she's absolutely in the mix. She's one of those mares that just seems to be hitting her straps at the right time. As you were saying, she's been perfectly placed. She's had some tough runs, and you can see that in her condition. She's holding condition, but she's got great muscle definition.
Lifeless Ordinary, another one of the Waller runners. Corey Brown, who's already ridden a Group 1 winner here today.
Yeah, 101 days off. 2 nice trials. He's pulled out some really good runs fresh in the past, but obviously not in Doncaster Miles.
Yeah, looks forward enough in condition to be effective first up, but this is a tough ask.
Exteen, number 12, Sam Clipperton for Kurt Goldman.
Yeah, look, she was bolted in a golden trial since the Coolmore disappointment. I'd prefer a few others under these conditions.
Yeah, look, she's been a revelation in the yard. From my perspective, a lot more settled and relaxed, and I think that's would tell in her racing as well.
Eloisa for Kieran Maher, David Eustace, Jay Ford.
Best bolter in my opinion. Like about a second up run in the Coolmore there. Placed in the Villiers this track and distance, and I think she's great value.
Yeah, she seems to be parading as well as she has done in previous runs. She's always carries that little bit of weight through her midsection, which is natural for her, but you can see she's forward enough by the definition over her hindquarters. She's really well in herself.
Siege of Quebec, Robbie Dolan rides, and the training combination, Gai Waterhouse, who's won 7 Doncasters, and Adrian Bott looking for his first.
Yeah, look, he's a tricky horse with patchy form. I would have thought he needed it dry.
And Robbie Dolan looking for his first as well, his first ride in the Doncaster. Look, he parades fine. He's one of those horses that I think would have been better if he'd drawn a bit kinder.
Another of the young gun jockeys, Jai McNeil on 50 stars, number 15 for Hayes and Dabney.
Well, he's a talented horse. 8 wins, 12 starts. He box-seated, proved too good for the Ajax. He's got a horror draw here, and he needs a good ride. But look at those wet track stats. 3 for 3 the soft, 2 the heavy. He's untouchable on soft going.
Yeah, he's an unassuming type, isn't he? There's not a great deal of him, but he's extremely athletic when you have a look at him and the way he walks around. I think that it's a really good point that he is very effective on this rain-affecting going, and he's coming into it with a win under his belt.
I Am Serious, Karis Teaton across from Hong Kong to ride for Chris Waller, a 6-time Doncaster winning trainer.
Look, she has to bounce back from a tough run in the Coolmore, but she just maps so well in this race. She's too good not to give another chance.
Yeah, I'd have to say that she's probably the horse that's paraded exceeded my expectations. She's one of those horses that looks as though she's really improving throughout a preparation, and that's really positive for a mare.
Sosie Bond, number 17, Lockie King rides for the Hayes Dabney yard.
Yeah, tongue tie on, gay deceiver. He's showing more consistency since being gelded, but he'll cause a stir if he gets home here.
He does parade well. He's a lovely looking individual, a quality animal. He's just tough to get over the line.
Okay, she's been placed 5 times in Group 1s, looking for a first fundamentalist. Ben Thompson rides again for the Hayes Dabney yard.
Yeah, she's a good filly, isn't she? She's bursting to win a big race after those multiple Group 1 seconds. To her credit, the draw gives her a good opportunity here.
Absolutely. She is so consistent, and she absolutely deserves this, Ronnie, and I can't see anything wrong in her condition or anything negative in her condition to suggest that's going to hold her back.
Number 20, Brutal for Team Hawks, and the jockey, this is his race, Glenn Boss. He's won it 6 times.
It could be 7. It could be 7. I thought he produced a great trial in the rider. This will be some sort of training achievement here, holding a 3-year-old back from 3-year-old races to looks like he's been prepared for this Doncaster. I don't think the draw is disastrous. I like speed horses out wide, and I'm expecting he's right in the finish.
He's been one of those horses that as soon as you lay eyes on him, you can't help but fall in love with him because it's a quality galloper. He looks as though he's going from strength to strength. He certainly doesn't look as though he's been winxed. Having a really good look at him as he's walking around in front of me, and he's going to give his backers an almighty shout.
And 21, Violate, Andrew Gibbons rides for Brent Stanley.
Yeah, I don't think he's good enough. He's scraped into the field. I'd be shocked if he got home here.
Yeah, look, he'd have to improve on recent performances, but very well turned out. Well, this is an absolutely cracking renewal of the Doncaster, and it was very difficult to single out one particular horse that paraded perfectly, but I'm going with Brutal on top. As you probably could tell, I'm absolutely in love with him. He's one of those horses that is just a classic quality individual, so I'm popping him on top. I think Fundamentalist has got the nous and certainly the fitness to be able to go a long way. Hartnell, the old boy, he paraded in great shape, and I Am Serious also was one of the horses that really has improved and just gaining momentum throughout this preparation. But if I had to single one out, it'd have to be Brutal.
Yeah, I agree. Late Mail 2010, 1 and 16. Who do you think I'd be tipping a 3-year-old only having his 7th start in a Doncaster Mile? But he is a brute. He looks outstanding. He's got Winks form. I thought his rider run was sensational, and it is a wet track run, so he's got style. I think he's got substance, and I think he's got youth. I think the danger is 10, Unforgotten. Would have much preferred her on top of the ground. 1, Hartnell, don't rule the old boy out. And 16 here, I Am Serious, from a good draw. 2010, 1 and 16.
Are you the brutal heart? Are you the brutal heart that I've been looking for? 'Cause if you're looking for love, you can look for that door. I celebrate the night into and arms that can't hold you that true. So
field of 20 at the mile. Let's get up to Darren Flindell for his call. This is the Star Doncaster.
Doncaster, Hartnell, would you believe it? The Epsom winner, looking to claim the double. Landed Plenty about to go forward there in the red jacket. Michael Roddown from Singapore. The Emergency goes forward, Violate, the outsider of the field. And the Colt about to go in, Brutal. Glenn Boss down to the 49.5 kilos on Brutal. 4 to move up, Lifeless Ordinary, Siege of Quebec, the Mirror Lise, to be partnered by Blake Sheena, and 50 Stars is drawn the outside. So Elise goes forward, and 50 Stars, who's going to jump. The race favourite is the last to move in the hands of Jai McNeil. So the light is on. We're ready now for the Doncaster at 2019. Capacity field of 20. Just standing by for the starter to let them go. He does so now, and they're off. Kluger just missed it a fraction with Shillelagh, and Lander Plenty gets back, and Fundamentalist won the break. I Am Serious away well together with Hartnell, Dreamforce, and Bosses going forward on Brutal out deep. 50 Stars even deeper. Le Remainer spearing through the pack. Kluger as well, followed by Siege Quebec, who's about midfield from Sosie Bond. Violet out deep. Then came Shillelagh on the fence. Further back to Dixie Blossoms from Eckstein, Aloysia, Lifeless Ordinary. Back fourth last is Unforgotten, followed by Lander Plenty, Elise, and Widgie Turf sees them all. Dreamforce takes the lead by a length. Brutal got to second. Fundamentalist leaders back third. 50 Stars 3 wide on the outside of Hartnell, followed by Le Remain 3 wide. Then I Am Serious. Further back to Kluger. Violate very deep. Shillelagh's getting an inside run, improving. Then Siege Quebec. Further back to Aloysia. Eckstein on the outside of Sosie Bonner. Further back to Dixie Blossoms, Lifeless Ordinary, Widgie Turf, Unforgotten. McAvoy gets going at the 600. Further back, Lander Plenty, and Elise is the last one. It's Dreamforce coming around the turn in front from the Colt Brutal. Hartnell's easing out 3 deep from 50 Stars and Fundamentalist, and further back to Le Remain. Dreamforce up the rise, a length clear from Brutal, sticking on 2 off to Hartnell. Further back to Le Remain. Dreamforce the leader. Brutal has him in his sights now, and Brutal draws level with Dreamforce. 3 clear from Hartnell and Le Remain. Boss takes the favourite to the front. Brutal late in a bit, but he's edging clear from Dreamforce, and it's another Doncaster for Glenn Boss. Brutal won it by 2 lengths to Dreamforce. Hartnell third, a cracking run by Kluger at the end. Then Lifeless Ordinary, followed by Siege Quebec, Dixie Blossoms, Widgie Turf, followed by Shillelagh, Fundamentalist, 50 Stars, Unforgotten, Violate, I Am Serious, Sosie Bon, Aloysia, Elise, Lander Plenty.
Brutal's won the Doncaster, and Glenn Boss has won his 7th. His 7th Doncaster. He's already in the Hall of Fame. He can't go much higher. And he wins his 7th for Team Hawkes, the 3-year-old with saddlecloth number 20 on its back. It went up outside the leader, Dreamforce, and they had to fight it out all the way, Duff. It was a leaders-dominated Doncaster, and it's the 3-year-old's day today.
Yeah, they own the race, those 2 leaders there, and you've got to hand it to Team Hawkes. You know, like I said, they could have gone the easier option, Ranwick Guineas against his own age. They took a different option to try and get him into this race. They put him in, you know, races like the Canterbury Stakes and the George Ryder, and he's a ripper and a lovely ride by Glenn Boster. Number 7, outstanding. Dreamforce, beautifully set up by John Thompson, just beaten by a star 3-year-old who beat the handicapper on the day, and Hartnell gallant in defeat with his weight.
What an amazing day this has been for those colours. Chautauqua won 3 TJ Smiths, and now they're seen in action winning a Doncaster. What a 3-year-old. What a remarkable 3-year-old. Rupert Lee's here, one of the owners. Just going to say, Rupert, it's been one of the great days for those colours. Chautauqua winning 3 TJs, and now you've won a Doncaster with Brutal.
Yeah, we couldn't have Chautauqua here today, but not a bad backup, is he?
Isn't it what? What a 3-year-old.
Fantastic. Yeah, today it was a tough finish, but we knew we had that sort of toughness. He is back, and we knew if it's a slog, he's the sort of horse that'll get you over the line. So it's pretty special.
You've got to keep your faith in John Hawkes and the boys too, setting him for a Doncaster.
Oh, mate. Well, you've got to, because you don't get better people than John Hawkes, and they know their horses, and they never lose confidence. We don't lose confidence in them, and you know, if he said, let's get Chautauqua back in the track, why wouldn't we do that either?
Well, don't start that again. Well done.
Okay, thank you.
Rupert Lee. We'll come back with the boys in a moment.